The following is a non-profit internet review series meant as a supplemental storyline to a community math playthrough. Both entities are protected under the fair use rules of international copyright law. Pokemon and all of the related franchises represented in Super Smash Bros. Are all owned by Nintendo, Sega, Konami, Capcom, and Namco Bandai Enterprises. Any specific headcanons represented are credited to the writer behind said interpretation, and the targeted material is owned by its respective producers. Please support the official release. Jellystone City, a shining light among the slums sandwich of the Ore region. A radiant city surrounded by greenery and illuminated by the night lights in a region well known for its easily navigatable desert. But once you step into this oasis, you wouldn't guess that this country is home to one of the biggest collections of bigots towards Poke-Elves, Pokemon that have manifested humanity, and vice versa. Yes, just because you're between Grandong and Shangao, well-documented Dongping grounds for the elves that can afford to the Kingdom of Helix, doesn't mean you can't have such beautiful things like a national park, complete with wildlife that's smarter than the average bear, a magnificent shopping mall that offers a beautiful viewing angle of the town in general, and a lovable neighborhood with plenty of room for adventure. However, its Republican dominion has been known to produce heartless individuals.
You owned your car for 4 years. You named it Brad. You loved Brad, and then you totaled him. You two had been through everything together. 2 boyfriends, 3 jobs. You're like, nothing can replace Brad. Then Liberty Mutual calls, and you break into your happy dance.
And apparently equally heartless commercials.
See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Well, ain't that an incredible surprise? My 50th episode, and it's a half day. Can you believe it? I just moved into this outpost here, and there's enough of this show for me to actually lull myself to sleep with. And I gotta thank each and every one of you guys for subscribing to my show. You guys mean the world to me and the captain, even though I didn't have time to incorporate him into this celebration, but he'd congratulate you on an archive binge well done. A lot has happened over the course of our 50 episodes up in the Cosby Comet. We turned an ocarina-playing hacker into a Zygarde elf in exchange for linking his 3DS to streamer's Fruity Lil supercomputer. We had to embrace democracy to guide a little girl on a regional conquest which she capped off as an adult woman in her prime. Streamer made us travel across Kanto to capture one of each of the 151 species that originated there. We watched our aforementioned Zygarde elf move on to greener pastures after we were forced to endure a randomizer situation. Again. We were forced to juggle 2 lovely ladies in a single run, bringing one closer and closer to the championship while slamming the other with our usual shenanigans. We founded a covert special defense organization to protect the universe from Viacom's cronyist army of Republican slaves, and in the days since then, we had inducted amongst our ranks of Scrublord, a diva, a gay guy, a mafia man, a brother, a fish, a terrorist, a cosplayer, a DJ, and a crook. So, where do we go from here? Well, that depends on the human race. Guys, believe it or not, this currently means you. Believe it or not, we all have lives beyond the screen. It's pretty much why I barely wake the captain up for these reviews unless I feel like there's something we can agree on. We put on our happy faces to entertain you, your friends, and each of our fellow colleagues because this job's pretty much the hobby that ties us all together. As much as we would love to make this our day job, finding ways to pay it off is pretty much better said than done. Real life comes first for all of us. We have school, we have work, we have bills to pay. We're doing what we can to protect you from the corporate crooks over at Viacom. But sometimes the outside world takes top priority. And that is something that's worth understanding and ultimately something you have to live with. So, now that we can understand why we often disappear for long periods of time, ladies and gentlemen of the mob, time to finally riot loose with the 50th fandom arson of our next offender, Yogi. Belts up, gang. We're about to land. The episode begins in Jellystone Prison, where a riot is ensuing. Amongst the chaos, two elderly criminals make their escape.
There they are! Oh, look, Lou, a ducky! Quit clowning around, Murray!
An idiot sidekick? Damn, Lou. I actually pity you for once. Me, pitying a one-off character. Sheesh. There are plenty of those out there that are actually tolerable, if not great comic relief. But this poor excuse of a cohort?
Now that's a clean getaway, right?
This'll be painful to watch. Word gets out on their escape, and the local news reacts accordingly.
And after last night's daring jailbreak, authorities said these convicts have arms and are dangerous.
Seriously, that qualifies as local news in this city? That they have arms? Couldn't you have just gone into further detail about these clods and how they're old?
Hey, check out these crazy crooks!
Also, I'm really feeling the animation here. I mean, yeah, the way I animate things puts us in no position to talk, but come on. But as you can see by this intro sequence, they have done better, and they should have done better. Seeing our heroes fail like this just gets on our nerves, alright? The $1 million in solid gold they stole half a century ago and its unknown whereabouts gained the attention of local teen sleuth Jaden Barra, who, for the sake of our testimony, will be portrayed by Yogi Bear.
Hey, yeah, it'd sure be a hoot to catch those cons with that loot.
We're supposed to be sorting out the lost and found, remember?
Oh yeah, they're supposed to advertise volunteer work since they're teenagers with attitude. While sorting out the lost and found with Jaden and his friends, local basketball ace Hillary Flynn discovers a banjo and begins singing the old lullaby her father sang to her every night up to her father's death when she was 8 years old. To protect her identity, she will be played by Huckleberry Hound.
Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling.
5,059 for heavens to harmony. Now I've confused my count, mixed my numbers, misplaced my place even.
Her singing voice is a hell of a lot better. Naturally, having heard that song for the 64th time now, the group finds it quite annoying and asks that she learn a new song or two somewhere else in town, with Jaden following suit because treasure.
I'll be a hero!
I should have known.
Don't worry yourselves about that arrogant little pimple, folks. He ain't in this episode much. Pray to God that we don't revisit an episode where he is the focus. Meanwhile, Murray and Lou discovered that the pine tree behind which they buried the loot has been moved to make room for the Jellystone City shopping center. They explore the shopping center to look for the tree, and along the way they run into Roxanne Parr, distant niece of Robert Parr, aka Mr. Incredible, and yet another slave to the popular zeitgeist. To put it bluntly, these are the type of poor souls who were suckered into the fads that middle-brow, middle-aged marketeers foolishly believe catches the attention of their target demographic. And it is for these reasons is why she will be forever known as a bitch. And for this reason alone, she will be portrayed by an animated bear. But there's no time for that, because they've finally discovered the tree. But the crooks encounter Hillary singing to herself and making up lyrics to her familiar lullaby. They try paying her to leave, but she refuses, preferring to make her own damn money, unlike the Coke inheritance.
Oh! Watch the grass grow, watch the grass grow, watch the grass a-growing green.
I know what you're thinking, and no, Hillary did not reword the chorus into new lyrics in real life. It's only there because singing the chorus of Clementine is one of the only aspects to Huckleberry's character, whether we find it funny or not. So we may as well just mock it for all it's worth, because that's all you can afford for writing when NBC's choking the life out of its Saturday morning lineup to make room for more Saved by the Bell.
Some new lyrics, some new lyrics, some new lyrics. That still needs some work.
Yeah, you think? Oh, and watch this. Now the crooks are aiming for the old free ice cream soda if you match the photo trick. But you want to know what the real kicker of this scene is? Hillary actually did this to the crooks all the way down to the cheesy Hanna-Barbera style one-liner.
Shucks, I got it. That there's my Uncle Elmo.
Uncle Elmo?
Uncle Elmo's got a mighty big family.
Oh yeah, that's right! Word on that, Ginger Dead Man! Now back to the boring testimony. Jaden asks Hillary if she has seen anyone suspicious lately, but she is blissfully oblivious to the crooks. No sooner than when Jaden leaves the scene do the crooks try to shoo her away with a made-up illness and a stretcher ride downstairs.
It's highly contagious, you know. We better take you to the hospital. Quick!
Sure is nice of them to be looking out for me.
Alright, hold on. Stop the episode right now because, for the record, Hillary ain't as gullible in real life either. 1 minute of gurney-based slapstick later, the crooks end up back at square one by the wheels of Hillary's stretcher. But not before.
Just drop me off at the record store, okay?
Hey!
Thanks a heap, dweeb.
Modern slang don't matter, son. The term dweeb will always be a timeless insult. They try the cardboard television trick, and she rewards them with a punch to the nuts, immediately followed by a couple of arrows up his ass. They try offering her a dynamite banjo, but guess what happens? Alright, the falsie says... Man, the cheat! You really bailed that time! Damn, this needs a background! Immediately, the crooks say fuck it and just have her dig for the treasure.
We got loot buried under this tree, see?
Now how can I see if it's buried under this tree?
That's 'cause you have to dig for it, silly puppy. By means of some quick thinking, Hillary lures the convicts straight to their cells.
Well, it's good to be home.
Wow, Murray, you actually provided a funny joke! Kudos! Jaden is depressed he didn't find the missing loot, but don't worry, Hillary dug it up and tossed it aside for Doggy Daddy to ignore as she began to sing the classic lullaby as she truly remembers it.
Clementine. Sometimes you just can't improve the classics, folks.
Understatement of the year, kid. Also, isn't the loot nice and safe out in the open where anyone can take it? Like, oh, I don't know, Doggy Daddy, the owner of this mall? Or at least he was the owner by the time this episode was produced. Nowadays, it's owned by Seto Kaiba.
Screw the rules, I have money.
This show is a disaster from top to bottom, despite a few shining glimmers of hope. Just by watching this particular episode, you can understand just how it mutilated the fancy animals over the swag and tens. Its mere existence catching the eye of a member of the Academy triggered the awards to not just honor the best, but to beat up on the worst, and for that it was nominated for the first ever Worst Reboot Award in 2012's first annual Sumner Redstone Award. Oh yeah, you'd think we'd be gearing up to tear apart the winner next episode, but as you can tell by the big old gaps between this episode and the last episode, that is sadly not the case here. We've prepared a special video for you to enjoy, and it'll clear things up. Roll it.
Hey gang, it's the middle of November, and you know what that means.
Time for another feeble display of importance theater in a downward spiral of a government where our rights are continuously stripped.
No, time for the second half of the holiday clusterfuck the royal court of a Helix Fossil had christened the Crescent Quarter.
Okay.
And since we've got to put up with family obligations, Christmas shopping, and the agony of personal distraction, we are unable to produce any episodes together.
Are you kidding me? Can't we just make one collaborative review per cycle?
Sorry, it's not you. It's my voice actor who tends to act a bit slow in the cold conditions, especially when it comes to his eating habits.
To put it in perspective, it's real life interfering as usual, i.e. why certain effort sync episodes are released whenever we can agree on their completion. Which ultimately means that these two specific episodes in these last two cycles of the year will be put on the back burner for now. But hey, that doesn't mean I don't have a few solo aces up my sleeve.
That will be necessary because we need Robbie to help out on our episodes and for him to provide my voice.
And between Robbie's burning desire for consistent characterization on this show and how he pretty much hijacked and mutilated you into a radically different character from what you were in Season 1, it's probably for the best that we hold off the double team effort syncs for right now. Yeah, the captain's going to be in hibernation for the winter, meaning full-blown fires from our episodes will technically be impossible for right now.
Don't you worry, fellow viewers. Fandom Arson will be back in the spring, but we will work on a side B to resolve that cliffhanger you saw back in Arson number 48, as we will talk about the relationship between Nintendo and Square Enix, and the history behind it, with a very special guest.
Not gonna spoil who it is, but he's basically to... We're not gonna spoil the name of the guest star, but let's just say he is to video games what Adam Conover is to...
It's Roger Van de Wilde. What? He hated Kingdom Hearts!
So, there you have it. Two of our arsons this season will be put on the back burner for now until both of us are present and accounted for when spring hits next year. Meaning 2 cycles of random things. One at the end of this year, one in the beginning of next year. All the while we pool together what's left of our energy for the year into a special side B for our Disney Infinity 2.0 review. Despite the half disappointing, half exciting news we're showing off here, there's still some flickering flames left for the year, so stay tuned. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe if you're a conformist, and until next time, ladies and gentlemen of the mob, thanks for rioting loose with 12 straight hours of fandom arson. Couldn't have said it better myself.
I'm at Comic-Con!
Flash.
But you don't have to take my word for it. What sort of opinions do you have on this particular subject? Drop us a line in the comments section. Hit us up on social networks and such. Like, favorite, and subscribe if you're a conformist. And if you're new here and you like what we do, please drop us some loot on your local Patreon. Ladies and gentlemen, mob, thanks for riding loose with our fandom arson. And as always, good fight, good night, and stay frosty.
Is a bundle to handle with grace and ease. We must make a living, so piss off Thanksgiving and jump straight to Christmas, please.
Aha! No clue is too small to escape the notice of a great detective.
One day. Soon.